Hello and welcome back to my conversation with Kim Richardson. We call this episode From Rock Bottom to Life's Purpose. We're getting onto the life's purpose side of it now. Kim is a personal chef, she's an author, and she's a mind-body-spirit practitioner. Through sharing her experiences, she empowers others to transform their lives. And she loves to teach how food can play a role in that transformation. I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan, and this is From Upside Down to Right Side Up, Tips for the Transition. It is my continuing series of conversations with brilliant, resilient women like Kim, who have inspiring stories to tell and who are the role models for the rest of us when it comes to learning to thrive. Kim, I'm delighted that you're here to share your story with us, and I would love for you to hear more and to especially hear about the wisdom you've embraced from your experiences and how that might help others. So would you share some of those lessons you've learned?
Absolutely. You know, I have become super passionate about the things that were the most difficult for me to move through my journey. So that's where I teach, and those are the lessons that I've come from. One of the main things is to find the gifts in these horrible, tragic situations. And sometimes, you know, when you first hear that, it's hard to swallow that. Like, what gifts can come from this tragic situation? But one day when you start having awareness, you're going to have an awareness. For me, the gifts, you know, my boyfriend that had passed, he had given me the gift of learning to love myself, because I would have been continuing on the same journey, whether with him or somebody else, in the same manner. And, you know, so many other gifts that came out of that tragic situation. Now, if I could change that situation, I would do anything in the world to have him here with us right now. But I can't change that, but I can change what's happening inside of me. I've learned that I don't have control over a lot of things in life, but I get to be in the driver's seat. I get to say who, what, when, where, and how, and I get to say no when I don't want to. So those are, you know, really those important pieces. In order to move forward, you have to heal the past. You have to drudge through all of those pieces, because even if you bury them, they're going to show up in different ways in your life and, you know, different times. So it's really important to heal those aspects. And then finding the gifts and those hard lessons that we have to walk through.
Powerful lessons. Powerful. I agree with you that we have to heal what has brought us to where we are today, when we are not happy with that. And learning to love ourselves. It's interesting that you found the gift of learning to love, or the need, maybe, the gift of the need to love yourself more when your boyfriend passed in such a tragic way through suicide, that it was a wake-up call of sorts for you, and that you knew that you had to learn to love yourself more, because this was not what you wanted the rest of your life to look like. So that's a huge lesson. Love that. And the healing of those things, you know, you talk about having to drudge up all of that stuff so that you can see it for what it is, feel what it brings up for you, and heal that so that you can release it, right?
Exactly. I mean, I just got a visual. And if you're holding on to some of these things and you're not healing that, it's kind of like if you have that ball and chain around your ankle that is huge and you're trying to move forward in life and it just is constantly slowing you down. And so once you can break that chain, let go of the past, no, this was the best definition of forgiveness that I had ever heard. I had a really hard time forgiving my father. I had a really hard time with a lot of forgiveness, but especially my dad. And because forgiveness felt to me like I was saying, that's okay, you did that. And we're going to let it go. And that didn't feel good to me because I was still angry. I didn't want to let him off the hook. And then one day, many, many years, you guys remember when Oprah was on, and she had a show with all these men that were victims of sexual abuse with Tyler Perry. I mean, it was a powerful show. Like 300 men got up to talk about this. It was really a big show. And I'll never forget because this was a life-changing moment for me. She said her definition of forgiveness, and maybe she got it from somewhere else, but this is what's worked for me. She said, it's giving up the hope that the past could have been any different. And that right there was what freed that ball from my leg. It was like life-changing. I thought, okay, I can accept that the past can't be any different. It is what it is. It has happened. I can't change it. And I didn't feel like I had to say, that's okay, you did that. But I could let go of the weight that was holding me back. So that was really a powerful one too.
Oh boy. Yeah, you just gave me goosies when you said that. I had not heard that one before. Forgiveness is giving up the hope that you could change anything that happened in the past.
Mm-hmm. Giving up the hope. Boy, I said it perfectly a second ago, but it just popped into my head when we were talking, but it's giving up the hope that the past could have been any different.
Could have been any different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, powerful. And it's so true. We often, I mean, I lived trying to change things for many, many years, especially in my second marriage. I was in that marriage probably 5 years longer than I should have because I was working so hard to change it, change him, change our relationship, change the dynamics, change whatever I could. And it wasn't in my power to change. And it was very frustrating for me until I learned. And I'll never forget that my very first coach said to me, what makes you think you can turn an apple into an orange?
I love that. I so love that.
And that was powerful for me. That flipped a switch for me, just like what Oprah said did for you. And giving ourselves permission, right, to release that sense of need to control when it's not in our control anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And to understand what it is, what is in our control, right? And what's in our control is how we personally adapt and accept what's happened and allow ourselves to move on, because we don't stop looking in the rearview mirror because we're not going that way.
Amen, sister. Amen.
Yeah.
And one other thing when you're talking about like with control, we were in the same boat, sister, with that. And I'm telling you that once you have this, I used to think I want to change the world. I want to do all these things and I want to change everybody and everything. And everybody should be in this lane and it should look like this. And, all the control. And I'm still working on a few control things. I know I'm not perfect at this, but to be able to say, I don't have control over what happened to me. I don't have control over what's going to happen to me, but I have control over my awareness. I have control over how I react. That's all I have control over. And you know what? The way that I'm going to change the world is by working on me. And the more I raise my vibration, the more the vibration of all those around me raises. So it's really a powerful thing.
And it's very empowering to think about it in those terms, Kim. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective on life and on your story. I believe that there are many women out there who are just gonna see themselves in all of this, and I hope that what they'll find from watching this is that there is hope for them. So thank you so much. I would love, I'm sure there are going to be people who are going to want to reach out to you and chat with you about what you do and your story, perhaps even more. So would you please share with us the best way that our audience can connect with you?
Well, probably the easiest, I mean, there's lots of ways to find me, but the easiest is probably on Facebook. So, you can go to my business page, my personal page, message me. It's easy to find me. So my word for this year is fearless. So when you see my profile picture saying I am fearless, because that's you'll know it's me.
That's the Kim Richardson we should be looking for on Facebook. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. You are an inspiration to me, and I am sure to others. Kim, many of us have hit rock bottom, and sometimes we're just not quite sure which way to go from there. And I think that you've shared some great ideas with us. We can listen to your story and take to heart that your journey is not unlike ours, and we can learn from those golden nuggets of wisdom you shared. So thank you again for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
And thank you all for watching my episode, my conversation here with Kim Richardson. This series of conversations is inspired by my latest book, Upside Down to Right Side Up, Turning Transition into Triumph. My book, the articles I write, and these conversations are intended to share stories from the heart and life strategies that can help others. I invite you to share them with the women in your lives, so none of us will ever again feel like we are alone. Many of us have gone through similar experiences, and we're here to help. I believe it's our time to thrive. Will you join me on that ride? Till next time, I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan.